Hey everybody, this is Nightwatch N8, your host of the Nightwatch Podcast. So Emmanuel Goldstein, Trump is in the news again. Yes, I'm being a little coy. And if you've ever read 1984, George Orwell, you've had how many years now to get around to it, but I swear Trump is the Emmanuel Goldstein figure, right? The opposition party, the guy everybody loves to hate. There's that footage I've used in the past show of the movie 1984 with the part where the party is gathered around in a crowd, groupthink, and they're all screaming at the top of their lungs, and it's called the 2 Minutes of Hate, and it's all directed towards this facsimile, this caricature of this Emmanuel Goldstein character.
But even as we grasp at victory, there is a cancer, an evil tumor, growing, spreading in our midst. Shout, propaganda. Shout out his name.
Nothing the party does is good. Even the world smiles at you. The party wants you to believe we are at war, so as to channel your attention. We are at war with the wars now. We are made for evil, stupid slaves of the party. Think of our lives. See the evil that is happening. Its own citizens. It is the party that the Eurasians
So the media apparently isn't, that they're just head over heels with this Trump guy. They just can't get enough of him, apparently. Because I don't think a month goes by until another breaking news story hits all the headlines over Trump again. Another Trump indictment, right?
Jack Smith and his team are coming out, so let's listen in.
Good afternoon. Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with felony violations of our national security laws, as well as participating in a conspiracy to obstruct justice.
And what's kind of funny is how all on the right, are all irate, I guess, over this news. And I think I've heard several different personalities like Timcast parroting, I think, what Trump originally tweeted out or posted on Truth Social, I guess, because he's not on Twitter, about how this is Biden trying to subvert the elections, right, basically.
All right, we have this from Truth Social. Donald Trump has posted saying, "The corrupt Biden administration has informed my attorneys that I have been indicted seemingly over the boxes hoax. Even though Joe Biden has 1,850 boxes at the University of Delaware, additional boxes in Chinatown, D.C., with even more boxes at the University of Pennsylvania, and documents strewn all over his garage floor where he parks his Corvette, and which is, quote, secured by only a garage door that is paper thin and open much of the time." He continues, I have been summoned to appear at the federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday at 3 p.m. I never thought it possible that such a thing could happen to a former president of the United States who received far more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country and is currently leading by far all candidates, both Democrat and Republican, in polls of the 2024 presidential election. I am an innocent man. This is indeed a dark day for the United States of America. We are a country in serious and rapid decline, but together we will make America great again. Elon Musk has chimed in, responding to ALX, posting this, saying, there does seem to be far higher interest in pursuing Trump compared to other people in politics. Very important that the justice system rebut what appears to be differential enforcement, or they will lose public trust. Elon, I appreciate the sentiment, but you are a couple years too late. It's happening. The federal indictment by the Biden DOJ is direct election interference. It is subversion of the United States election. It's just, I don't even know what to say other than, look, man, I don't see how this country remains on this path. I don't see how the United States stands and continues to function when you've got the sitting president filing an indictment against his chief rival.
But it's kind of ironic because if you, I know it's hard. We got to stop just. It's a dangerous concept, people, to fall into this collectivism, this groupthink. And that's the poison pill that you take when you get too wrapped up into this left-right controlled opposition politics. Yeah, you got to have the red pill or the blue pill, right? And once you have one, that's all you can see. You're either seeing red or you're seeing blue. And so yeah, we got to start thinking for ourselves. People, stop just parroting what you're told to think. Please, guys. I know it makes me unpopular, and I know I lose a subscriber every time I criticize one of the golden calves that's puppeted around on stage. But you know what? I don't give a damn, because I don't believe any of this. Like, man, I just caught a snippet, literally like, I don't know, 30 seconds worth of Timcast last night. This guy gets 40,000 live viewers. And I think I refreshed it after I paused the video. It's like just a few hours later, I think he had like a insane amount, like 180,000 views or something already. And you got all these little talking heads on the show, and they're all basically, speaking from the same script, It's just, there's no original thought. That's what really irritates me. It's like, come on, people. And I posted in the comments section, I'm like, you know what's really amazing? I'm just being a smart ass again, but somebody's got to be, right? Because if you read through the comments, it seems like just everybody, just like NPCs, kind of, right? They're all just in agreement. They're all on the same wavelength. They're all voting for Trump. So I said, what's really amazing is, how they've convinced all of these bright minds, right, on Timcast. This political reality show is actually real. That's basically what I said, something along those lines. But if you think about it, right, guys, if you think about it, what's really, man, what's this guy doing? I'm not driving the big truck today, so just about ran into a cliff face back there by a big dually. Driving this little prissy Lexus. That'd be a lesson to you folks. If you want to get pushed around, you got to buy a big truck. Yeah, if you just critically think about it a little bit, step out of your little, I know everybody's just reactionaries these days, and that's all it is. That's all these popular talking heads are, is they're all reactionaries. All they do is react whenever there's a headline. Right now it's a day later after all the little social media hipster gurus already jumped on the story A day later, it's all over the news, breaking headlines, got to interrupt your regularly scheduled program. Trump indictment all over again, right? What happened to the last one? It just kind of fizzled out, right? Because nobody who's anybody in politics will ever see any jail time, guys, okay? So calm down. Trump's not going to go to jail. It's okay, guys. I thought it was funny on Timcast. Somebody brought up, man, I wish Trump, or I bet Trump wishes he would have locked up Hillary now, right? Yeah, but he didn't, did he?
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
It's because they're pals, guys. Because none of these people ever see jail time. That's just how it works. But if you think about it critically, let me get to the point finally. What is the media doing, right? They are, in a sense, preempting our elections. They're already pre-scripting, years in advance, who our next choices are, right? Trump or Biden. Trump or Biden. Maybe DeSantis, probably not. But Trump or Biden, maybe DeSantis. And that's all the choices we have, guys. Because everybody are such little lemmings, and they're all reactionaries, and they don't know how to think for themselves. They don't know how to critically think. They never were taught that, in their government education, apparently. Man, this water is raging. Look at this. If you can see that. Big Thompson. What a ride, huh? What a ride that's got to be going down that white water. I might have to hit some rafting. Headed down, by the way, to pick up the sister and her kids at the airport. Yes, that's right, DIA airport. Not sure if I'll get any footage this time around, but maybe next time when I have a little more time, once I drop them off, and I can actually, this time maybe I'll actually pay for parking instead of getting a ticket. And I'll spend a little more time there to check out to see if they brought back those old murals, huh? Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, the Big Thompsons are aging today. I'm gonna rest my arm if you don't mind. I'm not looking down at you. I'm just trying to rest my arm, man. I've been holding this camera actually a lot lately. I put out a rant yesterday about that Boulder County Sheriff's investigation into the Marshall Fire here in Colorado. Look at this beautiful view. Okay. Here it goes again. You ready? It's Whitewater Rapids right there. Whitewater Rapids. Headed down the Big Thompson Canyon. Yeah, it's quite a spectacle with all this rain lately and all the runoff. There's still snow up on the Great Divide. We're still getting a lot of runoff. Let me get one more angle for you here. Just kind of peeking as I'm driving, as you can see. Yeah. It's crazy, eh? Eh? I don't know in recent memory. I don't know in recent memory if I can recall it being quite that active. Got a guy over here checking out. I don't know, maybe that was just a mailman. I thought it was like some guy keeping an eye on the water levels or something. But let's get back on track, right? Okay. So what's the media doing though, right? So everybody on the right's complaining about how they're trying to co-opt our elections, right? Because they're trying to take down Trump before the upcoming elections. No, what they're actually doing is the same thing they've done Trump's whole life, is they're giving him endless publicity for free. Because they know, they're smart enough to know, okay, guys? These multinational conglomerates, Operation Mockingbird, news media outlets, they realize the effect. They realize the majority on the right see them as a fraud, because all they do all day, right, on the leftist media is attack the right. Okay, so we're looking at things now, right, with two eyes, right? If you look at things with two eyes, then you get stereoscopic vision, okay? You gotta see the distance. You gotta kind of estimate how far away something is from you, or how close, whether or not it's gonna smack you in the face, hopefully. So with two-party politics, the dialectic, the Hegelian dialectic, what are they doing with Trump? If the leftist media, attacks the right all day long, and the right knows that they are the enemy, right? They're making it look really convincing to all the unsuspecting viewers out there, or maybe the suspecting viewers out there. They're making it look really, really convincing that they don't like Trump, right? And the whole system that we all know is corrupt. We all know this whole political system is rotten to the core, right? Why was Trump using language like drain the swamp, right? Why would he call DC a swamp? Because we all know that it's this incestuous stew of corruption, right? It stinks. And we want something different. We want something to change, right, guys? And so they're going to make it look really convincing that this whole system, the deep state, right, the new word in the lexicon that I guess didn't exist prior to Trump. It used to be the establishment, but the government within the government, the spook agencies, basically the criminals that have seized control of our governments, that have captured our governments, right? None of which were really drained when Trump was in office, by the way. Did not drain the swamp. He filled it with more swamp critters. He surrounded himself and his cabinet with the worst of the worst. Okay? These guys that were like recycled after 3 past administrations. How is that going to change things, guys? But anyway, they got to make it look really, really convincing, right? And that's what they're doing right now. They're giving this guy endless publicity, Emmanuel Goldstein, aka Trump, and they got everybody just completely convinced that they really, really are trying their hardest. They're trying their darndest to get rid of this Trump guy, but he's that invincible, guys. He's the Teflon Don. The whole entire deep state, the FBI, the CIA, they're all completely baffled with how to get rid of this Trump guy, right? Because they couldn't just, there's that old footage during the, I think it was the church committees, wasn't it? Or am I thinking of something else? Operation Mockingbird, the CIA, yeah, I think it was the church committees, where they were, wheeling out all these different little gizmos and gadgets that the CIA had, these, at the time, top-of-the-line technologies, right? And one of them was a heart attack gun that would shoot little needles of ice that were actually frozen poison that would stop the heart and leave nothing but a tiny little red dot on the skin. Okay, and this was like back in I think it was the mid to late 70s. I'm sure they have something a little more advanced by now, right, guys? All these spook agencies that specialize in espionage and taking out, political rivals around the world, or even here domestically, like they did JFK, right? So do you think, honestly, guys, okay, step out of the Marvel comic book high school mentality that, you know, we have these little saviors that pop up, and I don't know, they have, I guess some people rationalize it like he's got God's protection at this point, right? Like, yes, Trump is surrounded by angels, and they're deflecting all the fiery arrows of the enemies, and that's how he's still alive to this day. And they just can't seem to get him locked up. Try as they might. He's the Teflon Don. He's not going anywhere, right? If he was a true threat, guys, he'd be dealt with, okay? It's that simple. It's not rocket science. It's not that hard, guys. So if he's not a true threat, then what is he there for? And why is the media so obsessed with Trump? Right? He's banned off different platforms, right? So the corporate media will just lavish him with endless attention anyway, instead of just maybe ignoring the guy, and he'll go away. He'll disappear. If he had no, you know, if he had no publicity from the press, if he wasn't continually in the minds of the American people, then you know what? They might just even forget about him, and maybe they'd try something different, like DeSantis. I don't know. But you can understand who the pre-selected ones are, right? Who the chosen ones are, by how the media handles them. I was going to try to look at the dam here, see how full it was, but it's kind of hard to tell over the road there, so never mind. It's nice to get a fresh air anyway. So I don't know, guys, like, I don't know, I'm probably going to lose another subscriber for talking like this, because apparently some people out there, you just cannot handle questioning, right? You can't handle anybody coming around, you know, trying to burst your little bubble, right? Your little left-right paradigm bubble. And I know people, they, you know, you want to believe that you have a fighter in the rink, right? You want to believe you want to be part of something, okay? A lot of people just want to be part of something bigger than themselves, because, you know, we all look at our mediocre lives and we're like, man, sometimes, you know, and I'm guilty of this, I'm like, man, what is the point, right? What am I here for? And I think a lot of that, you know, in past generations, they didn't have time to even sit back and speculate, right? What their purpose was in life. They had real world problems, you know, to face, to solve, real enemies to fight. And now we've had it good for so long, which is so comfy in this country, Western world in general. I think we're just like, yeah, we're kind of starved for meaning, right? And I'm going to throw this out here again, like I always try to do. I try to bring it back home, right? Point everybody heavenward, I guess, because that's really the only solution that I see. I don't see any political solutions to our problems at this point. If you really want to be part of something big, you know, do something for God's kingdom, right? King of Kings, you know, feed my sheep, right? Jesus instructed his disciples. And he said, you know, if his kingdom was of this world, then his followers would pick up swords and fight. And Jesus never ran for politics. He never became president. He never became a politician even. And I think on some level, on a real spiritual level, we got to acknowledge that, you know, for the time being, this is Satan's little playground, right? Especially politics. And we can make a stand for what's right, yes, and we can vote for what's right if we're given the option, if we're even given the choice. But we got to realize at the same time that, you know, everything is just so rigged. So rigged. You can't even trust the ballots anymore, right? The vote counts. With these electronic voting machines, right, guys? I mean, and so the bigger the money, the more prominent the politics, right? From the top down, national politics, it's a joke. It's a sick, cruel joke right now. And if you're going to participate in any politics, I always recommend, get into something on a small scale, local level. Your local county issues, your state. In any case, that's my take. I mean, this is just insane. Like, we're talking about, it's going to be another weekend of Trump. You got to love those news cycles, how it always just breaks on a Friday. So you got all the bobbleheads getting together in front of the tube and talking about what they want you to talk about, thinking about what they want you to think about, or who they want you to think about, perhaps more importantly.
With 40% of Republican and Republican-leaning independents saying they would most likely back former President Trump, and 36% supporting DeSantis, who has yet to formally announce a White House bid. No other GOP hopeful reached double digits among a list of 9 potential candidates.
True Trump voters are going to stay with Trump. He's already proven himself, so we know what he's capable of doing.
And so they're already sealing it up, right, guys? We don't even have a choice at this point. All the debates, presidential debates, it's basically all going to be formality at this point, because we already know who the shoe-in candidates are. And it just gets earlier and sooner every year. It's like the establishment's desperate to combat any potential of a true anti-establishment candidate. And I know I say that, and people, it's like I'm speaking another language, because you think, well, of course, Trump is the most anti-establishment candidate out there. Is he, though? When the media lavishes them with endless attention and publicity and hypes him up, knowing full well that by attacking him, they only make him stronger. Is that an anti-establishment candidate? Or if you put on those little lenses, you think stereoscopically again. You judge the distance, how far an object is away from hitting you in the face. Is he not just part of that dialectic, the left-right paradigm? The opposition, the opposing opposites that rub up against each other and bang into each other, crash into each other, until people react, like everybody does apparently on social media. It's the worst, especially. Everybody reacts because they're trained to be reactionaries. And as I like to say, you can't be a revolutionary if you're reactionary, because you're easily manipulated. And they react and they look for a solution. What's the solution, guys? And, it's true. I heard another talk show host bring this up. I think it was Ryan Gable. He brought up a really good point about, and he's kind of a similar mindset as I am on the whole left-right paradigm, and how it's a total joke, laughingstock, and everything. Like he said, people, the more extreme politics get, the more extreme the solutions get, right? And the more extreme the candidate, and the more extreme his positions or, his solutions to the problem get. So you just get it from both sides, is what I'm saying. And fascism can come from either side, guys. Communism, fascism, whatever, ism you wanna label it or describe it as. I know we have a big blind spot, because that's the point. If you're wholeheartedly on board, if you're part of a cult, guys, okay, let's just talk like adults here. If you're part of an occult or a cult, if you're truly deceived, that's the whole point of deception, is you don't realize that you're deceived. Otherwise, you wouldn't be deceived. But yeah, if you're wrapped up in this cult, and you have this little central leader, and you're truly, I know this is hard for some people to wrap their minds around because maybe they've never been in such a situation, but you might want to reconsider if you're a diehard, dyed-in-the-wool conservative who just votes upon party, even sometimes over principle, though you may or may not be willing to acknowledge that. Because I'm sorry, guys, but Trump was not a conservative. If he racked up more national debt in 4 years than Obama and Bush combined, how is that conservative? How does that make America great, and how did that not contribute to the inflation problem and the wrecking of the economy that we face today? Oh, that's just because Biden's in office. No, things take time. And that's the other problem. People can't think past 1 or 2 years. And they can't remember past 4 years, apparently. But, the globalists, these elite that are pulling the strings, right, that are orchestrating this giant reality show, they're thinking in terms of decades, right? They're thinking in terms of decades. And that's the problem. Most people don't think on a long-term, big picture scale. And the other problem is they're all so wrapped up. I swear 2 Lambos just drove past me there. I wish I would have caught that. I was like, what the hell is that? They're the same color. They're like 2 white Lambos. Or it was a McLaren, maybe. Anyway, that was cool. Sorry. I didn't capture it in time. I was like lost in thought. I don't see every day in this little town, Loveland. But yeah, guys, just break past the 2-party politics, man. That alone will free your mind and solve a lot of our problems, right? Because that's this controlled opposition, this divide and conquer method of controlling the masses, which Twitter and all these different social media platforms just feed, just amplify, right? Like I said on that last rant, just a few years ago, people were starting to wake up to the left-right controlled opposition paradigm and realizing it doesn't matter what party's in power, Democrat, Republican, they're both corrupt, both paid off. And now all of a sudden, people are on fire more than ever, thanks to Emmanuel Goldstein showing up on the scene. He's done more for the left-right paradigm than I think any political figure in history. And that should tell you something right there. And he feeds it because all he ever does is attack based on party politics. This personality or that personality, personality politics is, again, it's poison. And it's pointless, right? These are just, for the most part, these are just little sock puppets that are put in power. And, they're given the script and they're told to vote this or that way. And it doesn't matter who these people are. What matters is the broader agenda, guys, that transcends, these fleeting politics of, this or that candidate that come and go on the world stage and then they vanish. But you know what? The same political machine keeps chugging along. And in the process, and the more polarized things get, the less freedoms we have, more tyranny we get, and eventually more globalism. Anyway, so look heavenward, folks, all right? The true solution is not a political one. It is to get right with God. We and it's a biblical concept. In a sense, we really get the leadership that we deserve. So we need to look within, look in the mirror, and ask ourselves, or ask God to reveal, the faults in our own character. And if we are, if you want to be part of something big, be part of God's army, right? And that's the truth. That's the real thing that Satan hates in the end. And that's where, it says in Revelations, the dragon was wroth with the woman being the church, the dragon being Satan. And he went to wage war with her seed, which just so happened to congregate over here to this country in America from old Europe and the oppression, the religious oppression under the Vatican, the Roman Church. Yeah, God gave his people a refuge in this country, and we've kind of squandered it if you think about it, right? We took all this wealth of land and resources, and we got lazy, we got decadent. And now we're kind of getting what we deserve, right? We're getting the same kind of decadence, the same kind of godless leadership that we've really, on some level, embodied in our own lives, right? Like, where are all the churches? Why are all the churches dying, right? Where is the example? Where is the Christ-like example? For all the heathens to see as a rebuke to their hedonism. I mean, we talk about this pride thing. How did it get this far? How did it go from just step back from your own biases and ask God to reveal your own faults? Where did you fail, right? In not setting a higher standard. And maybe it's not the gay, maybe it's not the LGBT, the obvious issues, right? Like stomping on rainbow things, products colored like rainbows, because we're all supposed to get back at rainbows now. Maybe it's not the obvious things. Maybe it's just something like how you act, your language, your temperament, right? And how your kid reflects that like a little mirror. That's what we should be doing. If we're true Christians, we should be asking God to make us into the best Christ-like version we can be of humanity. Anyway, those are my deep thoughts. I'm going to end you with that. I know I've already gone overboard. I'm back here at Dark Heart, and it's already almost 1:30, so I got to get cracking because it's about a hour trip to the airport. I don't know if I'll take any footage. Like I said, I don't know if I'll have any time, but next time for sure. In a week's time, I'll be back at the airport, and I'll try to get those murals and everything else. Now it's time for a little coffee. All right, thanks everybody for watching. God bless. I hope all those thoughts made sense. If not, just let me know, man. That's why we have an option to leave comments in people's videos, so we can go back and forth. One of my longtime viewers likes to play the devil's advocate a lot, I've noticed. She knows who I'm talking about, and that's great. I don't expect everybody to think exactly like I think. Wouldn't that be a boring world as well, guys? Like, if God programmed us all like little robots to be, parrot everything God thinks or says. I wouldn't want to live in that heaven, right? Yeah, God respects our individuality. Anyway, God bless everybody. I'm out. Heading over here to Dark Heart. I gotta hurry because I'm already running late. All right, God bless. Nightwatch N8, signing out. There we go. There's one of them. Dang rainbow worshippers. Okay, I gotta get out of this town and get to the airport. Storm clouds over DIA. Style of beauty, I guess. Interesting architecture, anyway. This road is bumpy as shit. Alright, I gotta figure out where I'm going next. I think we're going to Arrivals. Yep. Arrivals it is. once again. Nightwatch N8. Here to pick up some family. Not that scary. It's just kind of cool. Alright. To the dark belly of the beast we go. To the dark belly of the beast. This time, hopefully, won't get a ticket. Oh, okay.